Let's start. In machine learning, you will want to experiment often. That involves installing new packages and then trying different tools. However, a lot of experiment doesn't work. Maybe the package does not work as you expected. You will want to go back to the previous state of package before your experiment. So you want your Python environment to be reproducible and easy to install. Today I will introduce a tool called Anaconda. We will go through the install process of Anaconda and how you get started using Anaconda. We will go through some Conda commands that will make your Python environment reproducible. An important concept is your Python environment should be described as code. That is, the change of the environment should be tracked along with other code changes. First, the website is anaconda.com, which press get started. We'll start with installing Anaconda individual edition. This one is free. You can install Anaconda on your own machine and also on a shared machine or cluster in your own directory. So we start with downloading. I'm using Linux, so just pick a version that works for me. So the download starts. Installing Anaconda is easy. We start with running the installer. Here I use sudo because I want to install using root privilege in the /opt directory. If you are using a shared machine, you can also go without sudo. Press enter to continue, space to scroll through the license agreement. Make sure you read it. Type yes to accept the license agreement. Here you can specify an installation path. If you are using root, I recommend you to install it in /op anaconda free. If you are installing using user privilege, the default is usually sufficient. So I will install Anaconda to op anaconda free. Type enter to continue, and the installer will be started. It might take some time to finish installing. If you are using sudo to install, you might want to answer no here, because the root user will not be using Anaconda. You might not want Anaconda to be written to your environment. If you are installing using user privilege, you can just answer yes. I'll answer no here. The installation is done. Because I have not initialized the environment, when I type conda here, I will get command not found. The solution is to init your Anaconda environment. Just go back to your Anaconda installation directory, /bin/conda init. For the change to take effect, close and reopen your current shell. Or you can source the bash rc again. After I source the bash rc, I have a label called base here. This is a label indicating the environment you are using. The first command you might want to try is conda env list, stand for list environment. As you can see, I already have a few environment installed previously. If your Anaconda is a fresh install, you will only have the base environment. It is not recommended to edit the base environment. The first step to use Anaconda is to create and activate a new environment. Conda create -n your environment name. Let's call it demo. Select a Python distribution, for example Python equal to 3.7. After you review the installed Python package and the Python version, proceed with yes. Your environment is ready. You can use conda activate demo. After activation, my environment tag becomes demo instead of base. My Python executable is from this demo directory, and also my pip program is also from this demo environment. If you install any package with pip, it will be specific to this environment. After you deactivate this environment, the Python package is gone. Let's try pip install a Python package. Pip install Ranger FM. Ranger is a file manager, or we can start Ranger by typing Ranger and then Q to quit. Let us deactivate our environment. Conda deactivate. Ranger command is not found because I have deactivated the environment, and Ranger is not installed in this base environment. If I activate demo environment again, the program Ranger is back. Suppose I have messed up this environment. How do I remove it? We have to deactivate this environment. And then conda env remove -n the name of this environment, which is demo. All the package is removed. I cannot activate this environment again. Another way to install a package is to use Conda Install. For example, PyTorch. We just Google Anaconda PyTorch. There is usually a link here. It is the Anaconda cloud repository, just like pip. In this page, we can see the repository name is called PyTorch, and also the package name is called PyTorch. The installation command is Conda Install -c PyTorch. -c will specify the repository to use. PyTorch is the package name. For example, I want an older PyTorch, you can find it in the files. Scroll it down and you can see what PyTorch 1.6 is supported, and even older version, for example 1.5. I'm going to specify PyTorch 1.6 here. So Conda Install -c PyTorch, specify the repository name, and then PyTorch equals 1.6. It will show you a list of packages that will be downloaded and installed. For example, PyTorch will depend on NumPy, Ninja, MKL, which is Intel stuff, and then also CUDA for GPU support. Type yes to continue. It will take some time to download the package as some of the package is pretty large. Conda has a local cache, so if you are the second time installing PyTorch 1.6, it might not need to download it again. But for the first time, it will need a fresh download. After a while, PyTorch and CUDA toolkit has finished download and installing. So let's us try it. Python import torch __version__. Yes, it's 1.6.0. There is a few repositories that I would like to recommend to you. When you search for a package, for example, GStreamer, which is a video processing library, you will see a list of binaries. The Anaconda is the official repository. The Conda Forge is a high-quality, community-maintained repository. It is usually sufficient to use the Anaconda repository and also the Conda Forge repository, and it's also recommended that you only use these two. If you also include some third-party binaries, there might be some untested compatibility issue. Another useful repository may be the Intel repository and also the PyTorch one. You want to make your environment reproducible and easy to install. There is a command that allows you to export a Conda environment into a file. It is conda env export -f. You can type any file name here, for example demo.yml. You can look at what demo.yml is. It is just a file containing all the channel dependencies and also the pip package, if any, that you have installed. If you want to create an environment from this YML file, you can type conda env create -f equals demo.yml and -n your new environment name, for example demo2. It may take a while to create the new environment. Let us deactivate the demo environment and activate the demo2. We are going to check the PyTorch package to see it is installed. You can see Torch can be imported successfully, and then Torch version is also 1.6. That means that I have cloned the PyTorch from demo to demo2 here. Exporting Conda environment is a useful trick for you to reproduce exactly the environment you are using. So here is a few final words on why you want reproducibility with a Conda environment. Let's consider a scenario that I have installed Python 3.7 and then PyTorch 1.6. Suppose I want Python 3.5 for some reason. Let's see what will happen to my Conda environment if I try to force install Python 3.6. As you can see, it found an incompatible package, and it will take some time for it to figure out the right path to downgrade or upgrade your Python environment. This scenario of course won't be very common, but from time to time it will happen, and going through this step is pretty painful. It also doesn't guarantee that my Python environment can be installed correctly. So the only path that is left is to delete this environment and then install it again. My suggestion to this problem is to maintain a separate Conda file that will minimally reproduce your environment. For example, this one. The only thing I specify here is Python 3.7.9 and PyTorch 1.6.0. Suppose I want a different Python version. I can edit this installation file to Python, maybe 3.6, and then also PyTorch 1.5. Recreate this environment like this. In this way, All other dependencies that you have not specified can be recalculated again based on your new constraint. That is Python 3.6 and PyTorch 1.5. Conda activate demo 4. Activate the Python. You can see Python is 3.6, not 3.7. And then import torch version 1.5. Through saving two kind of Conda file, one for reproducing the full environment exactly, and another one containing minimal number of package that will reproduce your environment, will allow you to switch back and forth with different package major minor version. This approach will help you to reproduce your environment from scratch. If in any case your full Conda file does not work, you still have a minimal one that records all the dependency required for your Conda environment if you do not demand version locking. If you start by recording all the dependency as you install it, you get the benefit when the problem surfaces. However, if you don't have this practice from the first day, when your Conda file is just broken, you will have a very hard time figuring out which package is the one you want, which one is installed just because of the dependency. So this will conclude our Anaconda tutorial.